Haunted high-rise horror. I always thought the scariest thing about living alone in a high-rise apartment would be the isolation, not what hides beneath the surface. When the blackout hit last night, I was more annoyed than afraid, until I realized my building's emergency lights weren't coming on. My phone barely had 20% battery left, so I flipped on the flashlight and made my way down the corridor, trying not to trip over the carpet's weird bumps. Just before I reached the maintenance closet where the fuses were, I saw something smeared all over the hallway walls, dozens of handprints, some barely the size of a toddler's, others stretched long and thin like melting wax. At first, I thought it was just dust or maybe spilled paint left by the construction crews. But as I moved closer, the prints multiplied, overlapping each other in frantic, swirling patterns. There was one, right next to my own reflection in the glass, that made my stomach drop, a wide, pale hand pressed over the spot where my mouth would be. I tried to laugh it off, chalking it up to sleep deprivation or some prank by the neighbors. But the air was thick and sour, like someone had been breathing in the hallway for hours. My phone's light flickered, casting jagged shadows that made the prints seem to crawl along the walls. I reached the fuse box, hands trembling, and popped it open. Inside, instead of wires, I found a crumpled photograph. It was a grainy image of my own apartment hallway, except in the picture, a crowd of faceless figures pressed their hands to the walls, their pale shapes barely visible in the gloom. One figure stood apart, with a hand clamped over another's mouth, just like the print outside. The light snapped back on all at once, flooding the hallway with hard white glare. The prints vanished instantly, as if they'd never been there. But when I turned to go back, I felt a cold, unfamiliar pressure clamp over my lips. I couldn't scream, couldn't breathe, and as I stared wide-eyed into the security camera's red glow, I realized the handprint on my mouth wasn't an accident. It was a warning that whatever lived in the dark wasn't finished with me.